Of all the challenges that have existed over the last few crazy years, Animal Crossing has been one of the few constant positives in a sea of trials and tribulations. The world of Animal Crossing is a bright, colorful, happy place where any player, regardless of skill level, can come to relax and unwind and enjoy the simpler things in life, like collecting insects or fishing and getting mostly sea bass, decorating their house and stargazing.
Even non-gamers or those who have never tried any of the previous releases in the series can jump right in with ease. The friendly villagers and local entrepreneurs gently guide newcomers through every second of the process, even if a few also happily charge a fairly exorbitant number of bells for their assistance.
Looking at you, Tom Nook,
It's ridiculous.
You're not an entrepreneur. You're part of like some kind of mafia thing or something, stealing all our money. But for months, I made a daily habit checking in with my neighbors.
I feel like it was like a year.
Yeah, but it was a long time. But I would consistently check in, perform my little list of chores and tasks. I would hunt some seashells, catch butterflies, get my Nook miles, all that good stuff. And in the tough and often lonely times that we all faced during the pandemic, Animal Crossing provided an escape to a virtual world that made it just a little bit easier to cope. No matter how gritty and lonely and dark the outside world and all the news were at any given time, the kindness of my virtual friends in Animal Crossing were always ready to push those feelings away from me, even if it was just for a short spell. It was an oasis that was always there for us whenever we needed it, whether it was to check on the value of turnips first thing in the morning or searching for some rare insects during some long sleepless hours at night.
Can't pinpoint the exact moment this happened, but one day I just didn't stop to check in on my neighbors or collect my Nook miles. I didn't even turn on the Switch. Maybe it was an unusually busy morning, or perhaps I just kind of forgot. That one day turned into 2, and then a week, and then after a few more weeks went by, I realized I had missed some pretty large seasonal events that I had previously been looking forward to.
I suppose we could have done the whole time travel thing and went back to see them and reversed everything, but to be honest, I didn't really want to. And now here we sit realizing it has been months since we've last played the game. And it's highly likely that many of the neighbors who carried us through some of our most challenging and stressful days probably moved on. They may have left the game, and they stopped waiting for me to ever return. I don't even want to know what my mailbox looks like. I didn't mean to simply use all of these villagers and then discard them once I no longer needed them. It just kind of happened.
This game and all the characters that populate it were always faithful to me when I was at my lowest point. But I was less than faithful in return. I was the worst kind of neighbor in a game that was built around being neighborly.
Now sure, just be transparent. These are video game characters, fictional characters. So they're not real. But the truth is, I find this pattern play out in my real life and my walk of faith more than I care to admit. Many times in my life, I have behaved like the unfaithful wife to the prophet Hosea. Her name was Gomer, in the book named, Hosea. I promised my life, my love, and my devotion to the Lord, only to eventually forget how good He has been to me, and I regress back into some old habits, some old sins, and a self-serving lifestyle that He had delivered me from. Not because I intended to, I didn't set out to, I slowly forgot about Him and all the things that He has done for me. Just like my regression in Animal Crossing, one day turned to 2 days turned into a week, and next thing you know, it had been months since I had last truly connected with Him.
Animal Crossing wasn't designed to be played finished. It doesn't even have an ending. It was designed to be played each day and through every season, an experience that only reveals all of its secrets to those who willingly invest their time into it on a consistent basis and remain committed to it.
Sadly, through my experience in the world of Animal Crossing, I've realized I'm not a great virtual neighbor, not even a very good real life one. And through the story of Gomer, the book of Hosea, I definitely think you should try reading it, I completely identify with her situation as the unworthy recipient of love from someone who showered me with nothing but good gifts and brought me into his family, even though I haven't been consistently a faithful follower in return. But here is the best part of that story. Once Gomer was bought back by Hosea, we have no record of her ever leaving him again. She finally made the decision to allow herself to be fully loved and to love in return.
And I think that's why Gomer's story is here in the Bible for us to read thousands of years later, to remind us that his faithfulness to us has nothing to do with our past or even our present faithfulness to him. He loved us in our most unlovable state, and he remains committed to us regardless of our indiscretions and moral failures.
Just like Gomer and her experience with Hosea, each of us were bought back after being born into sin, as well as making our own sinful choices. The Lord loves each and every one of his Gomers, not because we have a clean past or a pure heart, or because we chose him first. We did none of those things. He pulled us out of the miry clay that we had fallen into. No matter how sordid our past has been, or how we may have failed him even after our conversion, he is ready, willing, and able to wash all those sins away again with permanence. And the Lord doesn't bring us back as second-class citizens either. We are all equally unworthy neighbors, receiving his gifts of grace and mercy that we never deserved in the first place.
The moment I turned my Animal Crossing game back on, I was embraced with open arms by each character, with my relationship fully restored. My access to my old house, my mailbox, and my accounts were ready and waiting for me to return to the place where I belonged. I didn't have to do anything to earn my place back. I just had to return home.
And for all of us who have found ourselves acting as bad neighbors in our real world, the Lord doesn't care where we have been or what we have done. He just wants us to come back home and receive his endless forgiveness, love, mercy, and grace again. And this time, he wants us to stay.